Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Going home with y'all.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Going home with y'all.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. But first, I want you to check out our giveaway. In the next 100,000 subscribers, we're going to give away this.
Hey guys, I'm Rebecca. You have a chance to win this DJI FPV drone, the case, and 2 batteries. We're gonna choose one of the next 100,000 subscribers to be our lucky winner. So please subscribe, good luck, and happy FPV.
What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. Over 8 years of drone and FPV experience. Welcome to the live chat. Hopefully we can see the live chat showing up on the right hand side of the screen. We also have a browser. We're gonna jump into the top drones for 2022. What I've tested so far and what my best sentiment is, the public sentiment on each drone as well, and some really in-depth analysis of each drone. We're going to show you some flight footage, and we're going to do some honorable mentions in this video as well. So be sure to subscribe on the channel so you can get in on that giveaway. A DJI FPV drone is around $1,500 that we're giving away. It has a case and 2 batteries along with it. Hopefully all you guys are good. Just make some comments in the chat down below and it will show up on the screen right here to my right over here, right over this way, somewhere over there, but you can see the ticker down below. We've also got a tip jar in the house today. If you want to give me some beer money, I would super appreciate that. It keeps the lights on at the Drone Camps channel as well, so any tips are absolutely welcome for all of my services to you guys, and definitely I can't deny that I don't need to make money, so this is my #1 job, and as you can see, we're doing some upgrades around here for our live streams and having some fun on a Friday afternoon with you guys. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Thank you so much for signing up, John, and joining the camps. 8 years of drone experience, all wrapped up in today's video. So without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into it. And I'm gonna go to number 5 on our list. It is going to be, drum roll please. I know all of you guys are just can't wait for this. And right now it's actually on a flash sale, around $77 for the bind and fly version of this particular quad. Let me go ahead and pull up the browser on the right hand side of the screen. I'm gonna hide the chat box for a moment, guys, and I'm gonna pull up the browser here. So let's go ahead and put it up. Number five on the list is the Darwin FPV Baby Ape, or the Baby Ape Pro, $77.99. And I gotta tell you, like, this drone has really rocked our community, and in a way it's kind of taken over Ishin's spot as the #1 cheap drone. So They're under 250 grams. They fly on a little tiny 2S battery. You can get it in black, purple, and yellow. You can also get the Baby 8 Pro, and that one comes in at around $90. And they ship from China or to the USA. You can get it in the USA warehouse. So if you want to check out the link down below, you can get that sent from the US. You don't have to wait, 2 months to get it. And there's our review right there. I did a full review on it if you want to go check that out as well. And I'm going to show you some flight footage of this little guy because it is super awesome. It's 142 millimeter wheelbase, again, 2 to 3S battery, 1104 motors, 4300 kV, all-in-one flight controller, 15 amp ESCs on board, an F411 flight controller, and it has the Darwin 700 TVL camera with another option for the CATX Ant. I would get the CATX Ant version if I were you. So that's going to be my suggestion to you for that little drone, but super cool little frame. I still have both of these versions on the channel, and we should do some more. We should actually really do some more footage with that. But here's just the full on flight test. There's my buddy there. He's hanging out with me today, checking out a little FPV monitor. And you can get these FPV monitors as well. I might have a link for one of those somewhere. I think they're like $20. And it's the best way to get somebody into flying an FPV. Hopefully this video that I've dropped in here today will show you a pretty good representation of that drone. I know it has some hit or miss flights and some crashes, but I mean, here we're just gonna jump right into it and fly this little awesome $77 for the Pro. If I was gonna get either one of these, I'd get the Baby 8 Pro. You can also get the Tiny 8, and the Tiny 8 is just a little smaller. But I think the Baby 8 Pro flies better. And you know what? Just for fun, let's go ahead and put our chat box back up. If you guys want to do some live questions about the Baby 8 series by Darwin FPV, please feel free to just go ahead and drop it right there on the flight test. I'm drinking out of my special mug today, guys. Cheers, happy Friday. I'm the Super Dad, Twins Dad. So any support that you give me on the channel supports me as a single dad, so I appreciate that. And you can see there's like a little bit of jello in this video, and I'm running the Insta360 Go 2. But man, it tracks really good. This is a fast little file, but not big enough to really bring the Karens out of the woodwork, so that's cool. Let's go to number 4 on my list.
Artlist.io.
Number 4 on my list is one that I am a huge fan of this company. And if you're going to get into cinema this year, this is one of the best ways to do that. Number 4 on my list is by GEPRC.
Reimagined.
It is the Cinelog 35, actually. Let me go ahead and type in Cinelog 35 here. Let's do a quick search and we'll bring up the 35. That one's around $418 for the HD version. That's DJI FPV goggles. If you don't have DJI FPV goggles, get the cheaper one. There is an analog version around $187, but it looks like they're out of stock on the 3.5, so you can get 2.5. It's a little bit smaller. You can get it without a receiver, but look at the reviews on here. 4.9 stars on that quad. Nothing that I'm going to show you today is going to have bad reviews because this is all about the best of 2022. Just going back to the original one, let's see, 2.5, it's got a 4.9. And let's go all the way back to the HD version. I'm pretty sure the HD version has many reviews on that one. 4.9 again, 84 reviews, 5-star reviews for the Cinelog series. Now, I would go for the HD version if I were you. You can also put any kind of decased camera on these. You can run them. I believe there were 4S as well. So this is the 2.5. Let's see if we can get back to the 3.5 here. Cinelog 3.5, and I'll just show you the HD version. Some of you guys might not buy this one, but if you do, you can check out the link down below. I would set this one up with TBS Crossfire Nano RX. That is the receiver that I would go for. And here's my review for it. It's just legendary. We had a really good time flying this one. I'll just hop right into this this video here for you. There's the chickens. There they are. Okay, we're gonna get into some of this footage right here. So this one had a really good speed to it and proximity flying. You can really see a lot with DJI stuff. So that makes a huge difference when you're flying or trying to do some slow cinema indoor shots. And over here where I'm flying, there's a huge briar patch below those trees. So I was taking huge risks going in there. I've had to carry a machete in my van and take those briars out before. Not fun. And it will power loop. Check that out. The Cinelog 35 will power loop. That's freaking awesome. So this is one of those ones that was so versatile because it would do both freestyle and it would handle extremely smooth cinema. So if you're filming skateboarding, snowboarding, any type of, even pro film that you want to chase a motorcycle with or chase a car with, this quad has a lot of speed and you can get 4K video on here. So I'm not really, it would carry a Hero 10, but I think your flight time would be decreased to about pretty minimal flight time on that. So keep it decased and you're going to have the best experience with the 3.5. But this is my favorite Cinewoop this year. And honestly, one of the mid-range prices Cinewoop. It's not the cheapest one. If you want a super cheap one, get the Eachine Civitar. That one was pretty cool back in the day, but I say back in the day, it was 1 year ago. Let's go ahead and bring back up the chat box. And if you guys have any questions, pop them up on the screen and let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying to follow the live chat here. It's kind of hard to do this and follow the live chat at the same time. But hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Should I turn it up a little bit more? All right. So I'm going to turn down the background music. Maybe this will help it out a little bit. Okay. All right. So, cool. Okay. Now let's get into my next pick, which is going to be number 3. All right, we just turned the music off, and I had the sound on the background music cranked down to like -47 dBi, so that should have been good enough. But it is new software, so I do apologize. All right, so we're just gonna go right on with the list. You know, number 3 was, we'll do a recap real quick. Number 5 was Darwin FPV Baby 8 Pro, or the Tiny 8. Either one of those are some of the best economic drones, and I want to give one of each category in this video. So, and number 4, Epic GEPRC Cinelog 35. And coming in at number 3 is our good friends, longtime friends over at CFly. CFly has been making drones now for probably about 4 years. And let's just hop over and show you the CFly Faith 2S. The Faith 2S comes in at $329. It is a DJI Mini 3 alternative. Start with this one before you jump into flying or buying a DJI Mini 3. This one comes with 1 battery, 2 batteries, or the 3 battery combo. 3 batteries cost $449, 2 batteries $389, or actually 3 batteries $389, 2 batteries, oh geez, I'm starting over. 1 battery is $329, 3 batteries is $449, and 2 batteries is $389. They had that, I don't know why they had that out of sequence there. It should be 1, 2, 3, but they have 1, 3, 2. China, you're trying to mess me up, bros. But this quad gets a really good flight time. It has optical flow system on board. It has a CMOS camera, 20 megapixel resolution. It has a max bit rate of 50 Mbps. That's really good. File system is FAT32, and it shoots MPEG 4s. It can support up to 128 gigabyte class 10 micro SD card. That's super good. And the flight distance on this drone, I've seen flight tests, and they're getting out there. It says 5,000 meters, but I've seen like miles out with this particular one, as well as the SG906 getting out there. Similar to this drone, the SG906 is getting the Max 2 edition, getting close to 4 kilometers. That's 3.5 miles for something that costs under $500. With full video transmission to your phone. That's pretty epic outside of what DJI is giving us for $750. So if you're looking for a budget drone or a trainer drone, I'm telling you, these alternative drones to DJI Mini 3, they're where it's at. Super, super nice. Let's see, let's go ahead and move you guys out of the way there. Darwin is a knockoff of Eachine. Either way, you thought it was the same company. I'm not sure that it is the same company. You know, some of these companies do these offshoots when they think you guys get tired of a brand, and so they'll start alternative companies like SkyZone, for example. It's not really a secondary goggle company, but they did start Atom RC, and they do a lot of RC airplanes. So this is number 3 on my list at $389. Let's just go ahead and bring up the flight video on that one, because this drone right here was really, really nice. And this is just the video that was recorded down to my phone. You can even have better video if it records down to the SD card. And that's the reason you'll see some kind of frame loss in some of this transmission. But if you go out to the fields and you forget an SD card, it's kind of cool because you can make a quick video just by recording video down to your phone. So super cool. And again, CFly Faith 2S is number 3 out of 5 for my best of 2022 this year. And we've had some great releases. I have some really cool stuff coming up on the channel too. So if you're brand new on the channel, be sure to subscribe, because I get all the new releases right here to review and play with for you guys. And a lot of times we go pretty hard. I do durability tests. We do crash and break things. And I show you, sometimes I show a little bit of insight on what is a possible weakest link on a drone. So this one is also 35 minute flight time, guys, on this iFlight Faith 2S 4K GPS drone. Really, really nice. And this one has a 3S battery on board, unlike the SG906 with a 2S battery. So 3S battery, 3100 milliamp. It has multiple flight modes. It has orbit mode, skyward mode. It has comet mode, spiral mode, portrait, live broadcast, which is also pretty cool. And it shoots, I believe it shoots in different horizon and vertical modes, which is really, really cool. But you can live stream to TikTok with this thing. So if you wanted to do that, you can. Let's just go ahead and hide the live video there. Bro, thank you Shadow Up for the $5 donation. Check out my little emoji guy up there. If you donate on the channel, you get to see this pro wrestler guy hop up. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. So I like the video on this drone, and brushless motors, GPS, return to home, low voltage GPS return to home, and it's foldable. I can't remember how heavy it is. I think it is over 250 grams. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it is. But as a trainer drone, you know, you're not going to be using this for pro video. You could register it if you want. So I'm looking for the weight spec on there. 515 grams with the battery and propellers. So yeah, maximum flying speed 17 meters per second in sport mode is pretty zippy. It was fast, and it almost felt like I was flying an airplane at times, because it does kind of this swooping turn, which is a little different flight characteristic than a lot of other drones in this category that I've flown. But Seafly Faith was also kind of Seafly's like most latest home run, because for the past 3 years they've sent me stuff and I've had a hard time reviewing any of their stuff because it was garbage. So finally the Faith 2S, I can give it a thumbs up, because the other ones were not good. So I only do honest reviews on the channel. Welcome to the group. I appreciate it, Johnny, for joining up. Most recent follower. Tommy, welcome. Tommy's a new member as well. Welcome to the live stream, and welcome to the DC channel. So let's get on with this, you guys. Hopefully you guys are good today, and let me know in the chat if you have flown anything today. I'd love to know what you're flying. If you are flying, bring the chat box back up for you, and your stuff will appear right over there. Everything's backwards here, so it's like, let's see. Number 2. So we're moving right along. What's up, Tommy? Welcome. Number 2, I feel like should be my number 1. So if it was me personally, this would be my number 1 choice for this entire year. And I've talked about this on my channel. You guys know that I do honest reviews. No BS, no malarkey, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not biased. I do make affiliate money. If you buy something, it benefits me, yada yada yada. But dudes, I always tell you my favorites, and a lot of you guys have bought stuff that I've recommended and then thank me later. You've bought handfuls of the ones I've talked about, you know, and so all you guys are stoked on the ones that I tell you are the best. And you know, I do know which ones are the best, and I know which ones are garbage. So number 2, one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, in the list, in the link down below. Buy this drone. Please buy it, with my link, of course. It is going to be this guy right here. Let me go ahead and bring it up. Number 2. But my number 1, this guy right here. The iFlight Chimera 7 Pro HD. Let's go. GoPro Hero 10, 6S battery, GPS on the back of it, around $600. There's my review. You can check that out. This is the most serious, awesome, like, I'm just going to leave the room right now, drone that you can buy for FPV out there right now. You can get it with the original air module on board, the old school DJI camera, which everybody wants. All the FPV pilots want that one. And it seems like iFlight snapped up the supply of those because they are in short supply. Most of the other bind and fly manufacturers can't get them. So iFlight seems to have a pile of them, and they bought them early before all the rest of the guys could get their hands on them. So there you go. They have the original DJI camera on that bad boy. It has a GoPro mount up front, long body design. It has a dead cat style frame with replaceable arms. It has 2 antennas coming off the back for maximum penetration way out there. This thing will go miles and miles out. It comes with bind and fly DJI setup, which is also a receiver that can handle the DJI radio and handle miles and miles out on those 7-inch props. Or me personally, I'd get the TBS version, and that binds up and will go out miles and miles. So this kind of has dual purpose. This is a cruiser, and it is also something that you can fly long range, and you can also do cinema with it as well. So like if you're a cinema guy, if you're a pro cinema guy, or you're somebody who is a total Hollywood professional, I would film a Subaru commercial with this, because this could keep up with any Subaru out there. It probably has an 80-mile-an-hour plus full speed, or it has to be close to maybe 90 miles an hour at full stick. So full throttle up. It's just an amazing drone. And let me just hop into some video here, because I can't stand it. We got to watch this. I just wanted to watch the flight video first and get right into that, because dudes, this drone is awesome. And this camera on board, it's actually not even my good camera. I don't believe it was my GoPro. This was, I believe it was the 1R RS from Insta360 Go. And if you guys grab any of these, be sure to use my code. You can see it, the ticker down below, down at the bottom, down below. It's 8% off. BG Davis 2021 is still active. And it is uppercase and lowercase sensitive. So capital BGD, lowercase AVIS 2021 for that discount. And all the hobby stuff, you can use that. If you bought anything else, you could use that same code. Very good website. Yeah, dude, this thing goes. So, I mean, let me explain something to you. If you're watching my channel for the first time and you're wondering about, should I get a 7-inch or should I get a smaller drone? Start with a smaller drone first, absolutely. If you're already flying RC airplanes, like big RC airplanes, and you're looking for something that flies similar, go ahead and start with a 7-inch, because guys that I know at local AMA fields, they already fly like 60-inch gas planes. You can handle one of these if you're already flying big RC aircraft. If not, start out with something like a Darwin FPV, then get yourself a 5-inch, and then get yourself something like a 7-inch. That's the best way to move. But look how beautiful this video is. I mean, super, super nice. Yeah, if we have any spammers in the chat, I'm gonna definitely we're gonna okay. Yeah, we got a ban that guy. He's gonna be banned. What are you doing bringing that kind of crap into my channel? Alright, time out, buddy. Time out. You can't come into my live stream. Oh, awesome, Tommy. $89. I mean, it's under $100. It's a great drone to start out with and start your FPV journey. Yeah, the video is probably lagging because it's playing from a separate drive here to the live stream. And the 7-inch, go back and watch that video. It is an amazing drone. Let me go ahead and go back to it here. So it can get upwards of 20 minutes plus flight time. You could put like a 6S 4000 milliamp battery on there. That's what I would recommend. It is over the 250 gram weight category, so if you're worried about that, this is not the drone for you. But the newest version that you see here on the page also has iFlight's new Blitz F722 flight controller. It has 4-in-1 55 amp ESCs, not small, not your daddy's ESCs. It also has a little larger motors on this one, the 2809 1250 kV motors. Now, down at the link down below, I put 2 versions down there. I put this version, which is the newest Pro version that they call this one. It has a little larger motors, and some people say that you can get a little bit longer flight time with the previous one. So I'm going to type in Chimera here, Chimera, whatever. Pro Blitz. So click on this one, $624. It's a little bit cheaper, but not much. But this one has 2806.5, 1300 kV. And let's just double check that. The new version. Yeah, 2809, 1250. So a little larger motor, a little lower kV. And then on the older one, .5, 1300. They're so similar. I'm not sure why they changed up the motors, but you know, if you want a tiny bit longer flight time, a little more efficient motor, get the iFlight Titan Chimera LR. That's the older one. You can still get it with DJI, or you can get an analog version. And it looks like the analog version is coming in at $435. So if you already have analog FPV goggles, get this one. Under $500 for a 7-inch. And with this kind of, yeah, with this kind of quality, iFlight and GEPRC are the 2 best companies in bind and fly FPV industry. Yeah, so I had to moderate. I have to moderate and do the show at the same time. Sorry about that spammer in there, posting some kind of weird stuff. But I'm loving this one. This one is number 2 on my list of my top 5, and my personal number 1. If I was going to go on a trip, this is the one I would take absolutely with my boys, anywhere out to the coast, flying out in the mountains, down lakes and valleys. I mean, you can really cruise, and the best thing is you don't have to build it. It hands down, dude. It is the best bind and fly 7-inch out there. Super awesome. So if you guys have any Q&A you want to do real quick about the last 4 drones we talked about, we're also going to talk about some honorable mention RC helicopters in the last part of this live stream today. If you guys want to stick around for that, be sure to do that. Number 1, let's go ahead and get into number 1. And you guys might have an idea of which company it is for the number 1 pick. My number 1 pick of 2022 that I think everybody should have a copy of, or we say on the RC airfield, in your hangar. This one should be sitting on your shelf, and this one should go on trips with you. I would take the number 1 drone and the number 2 drone in this list on my trip because they both serve certain purpose. The number 1 drone for 2022 that everybody should own, use my link below, shameless plug, is this guy right here, the DJI Mini 3 Pro. This, you know, DJI kind of outdid themselves with this drone, and it's hilarious to me because, you know, when the Mini 2 came out, you know, that was good, and I gave away my Mini 1 because it didn't have enough flight time on it. But I also just want to, every time I buy a DJI drone, a lot of times I'm giving them back to you guys. Case in point, my DJI FPV drone. And that one, again, like, I love that one, but it doesn't have a long enough flight time. It should have a 20-minute, over 20-minute flight time on the drone. and the original Mini didn't for me, so that was kind of disappointing. The Mini 3 Pro comes in at $759. It has a vertical style camera. The camera can actually tilt like this and shoot a vertical style video, because that's super popular video format these days. And I've never seen any other gimbal in the history of Drone Camps RC turn it vertical like that and shoot true vertical video. It's under 250 grams as well. So that means you don't have to register it with the FAA, and it's foldable. And if you're going on a trip and there's that camera rotation, check that out. See that camera rotate to vertical? How freaking cool is that? Is that cool? And you still got 3-axis stabilization on that camera as well. Over 30-minute flight time. It has a Lion on board, I believe, and it'll fit in your pocket. There's also a secondary battery, a Pro battery version that you can get that would get you up to 47 minutes flight time. Moment of silence for that, because under 250 grams. Do you guys even understand? Do you comprehend how much work that must have took to get that little guy to fly 47 minutes? I mean, can we get a round of applause for DJI on that one? I mean, you know, the most loved and hated company on the planet that makes consumer drones. Achieving things that other companies have not been able to do. About once a year, multiple times a year, they come out with something that just kind of rocks the industry. I mean, on the prosumer level, the cheap level, and on the enterprise level. Some of their enterprise drones are insane. They are freaking insane. It's crazy. That battery is going to be, I believe, probably over $150, unfortunately. That will be a more expensive battery. But, you know, to start, it's not bad to have a battery that's going to last over 30 minutes. It also does superior low-level light video. Less problems with it getting blurry or pixelated. 1/3 0.3 CMOS sensor. HDR footage, super nice. Of course we want HDR. 4K HDR, beautiful video. And 1080 tweet, 1080p, 120 frames per second. Let's go. I don't know what I'm going to do with 1080p except upload it to YouTube. For a professional video, you obviously, if you're filming something like this guy right here, yeah, you probably want to have a more serious drone than something like a DJI Mini 3. No offense, DJI. But most likely you're doing some shooting with something like that for a commercial purpose. So in that case, you would get the Mavic 3 or even an Inspire 2 or the Matrice M30. The DJI 2 Air 2S is also still a good choice, but over 250 grams. So the Mini Pro is rocking the boat still. Mini 3 Pro. And I mean, just, I can't wait to get my hands on one of these. If you have one right now, let me know in the chat. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I would go out with both of these drones on a trip. We have a trip coming up in July, Rebecca and I, and she is known as Miss Drone Camps. You can see her in the FPV drone giveaway. She is going to be on the channel more and more coming up, guys. So If you're looking for more kind of a beginner's perspective on flying FPV and drones, we're going to get Rebecca flying as well. So she's already done a little bit of flying, but we're going to have her do some more on the channel for you guys, so she can give you her opinion as a new person getting into drones. Maybe we'll have her drive some RC cars. We do a lot of different stuff on the channel, so you can check out the DJI Mini 3 down below. And let's go ahead and move into the next category, guys. Drop some questions down below if you have some questions that you want to get answered. We can also do a little bit of Q&A on the channel. So any buyers looking for your next drone, just let us know. Okay, we're going to move on to the honorable mention. I have to say, the ZL-SG, this drone right here, the SG-906, let's go, Max Beast 2. Is it sitting over here? I think it is. So, you know, just to show you guys I'm not a total shill, there is my copy of my iFlight Chimera 7 HD Blitz version. And over here is, no, yeah, my SG 906 right here in the bag. So this is the actual drone and the case that comes along with it. 2S 5000 pack, over 30-minute flight time, $269. Let's go. An Amberella chip. And someone told me yesterday, I said, get, you know, Amberella chip or get the HI silicon chip. That sounds good. I don't even know the difference. But someone told me yesterday the difference is the Amberella chip. I'm probably going to be wrong here, but the Amberella chip is made by Sony. So that's a really nice chip. It's really, really nice. Super nice chip. And this was the video that was recorded down to my phone. I might have even showed you the wrong damn video earlier for the C-Fly Faith too. Let me just, yeah, I did. Of course I did. But this is the SG-906 video right here. Not bad for under 300 bucks. Can I get a like on that? Can I get a like on that video? Because $274 for something that flies over 30. It's crazy. 3-axis gimbal. It has working obstacle avoidance. I tested the obstacle avoidance and it actually works on this one, because the obstacle avoidance on these kind of DJI Mini 3 alternative drones recently has been total trash. Those things cost about $4 to $5 retail. So it literally cost them 25 cents to make this thing. But the one on the 906, the Max 2 Beast, this one works. And maybe this is the $10 version. I don't freaking know, but it didn't fly into me. And it works. It actually works for that price. Anything else with obstacle avoidance on there that spins around like this little tiny camera, no. They don't work. The cheaper ones don't work. And this one has been tested out to 4 kilometers. So this little drone will fly with full video back to your phone out 4 kilometers. There's a guy on YouTube testing them out. I'm not gonna range test it like that live on YouTube or anything like that, because we have rules and regulations in the U.S. that I have to stick to. So most of the time we do our flight tests, we do them within line of sight. But really nice flight video. $274. That's awesome. And I got to show you a little bit of that C-Fly Faith video, because let's just go back to that C-Fly. They have several different versions of it. There's a 2 version. Don't get the 2 version. That's the one from last year. Get the 2S version. The 2S version is finally on Banggood's website, and yeah, this is the one to get. $329 for the 2S version. So it's a little more expensive than the SG906, but I would say that this makes a little better video. I mean, you see how solid that is? It looks like it's standing on a pole. It does. This video, I mean, it looks like a DJI drone almost. I mean, it's so solid. It looks like it's sitting there. And you know, and that's when you know, like, the drone has a really nice flying characteristic when you don't see any jello. It looks like a security camera sitting on a pole, twisting around. You wouldn't even know this thing was flying until it moves. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. And the next thing about the C5 Faith 2S is that it has sky definition. So if you look back at the SG906, I was talking about this in the review. If you want something that has better definition for above the ground level, a lot of times you can judge a camera sensor by the way the sky looks up top. If you can see clouds off in the distance, if it catches any of that, it's a decent sensor on board. Otherwise, not so great. If all of the top part's going to be blown out and white, that gets more into the toy drone category, in my opinion. So you're getting a little more towards consumer drone if you can see the sky in the video. And it also gives it more depth of field because it looks like you can really see off into the distance. It's super nice. And the C5 Faith was number 3 in my top list for 2022. And I mean, you can see why. This is untouched, unedited, raw footage. And the darks are a little bit dark, and you can lighten that up in the app. If you want to have these darks a little bit less black, you can change the black point, which is super nice. And there's that light adjustment when we turn the gimbal. But the video back to the phone also looks really nice, and I never lost reception. I never had any breakup or the app crash. And some of the biggest problems with some of these toy class drones is that the apps, they don't have a lot of work put into them, so they're also on Wi-Fi and they freeze up. And then if you're a new pilot, you don't know what to do. You hit return to home. But what you should do is just close your app, open it back up, reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and it should come back. And the first thing that I do is get the drone back closer to me, and sometimes video will pop back up. But if it refuses to pop back up, go ahead and close the app and open it back up. And that should bring back the video. But this one's super nice. If you guys have any questions about any of these top 5, let me know. I appreciate the tips today, guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So we're going to get back to the browser now, and I want to show you, if you're interested, my best RC helicopters for 2022 as well, because I've had some real big fun with some of these helis, and we're going to review these guys coming up. I've been playing around with some of them, and that's why I'm now going to show you my favorite helis for the year. And this made the best radio for 2022. The Radiomaster TX16S Mark II, the new version that came out. The version, this is version 4.0 with the Hall gimbals, 4-in-1 ELRS. You get ELRS or 4-in-1. I would suggest starting out with 4-in-1. 4-in-1, you can do about 100 different receiver types, which is amazing. $199. This radio has more features than some of the most expensive Spectrum radios out there that are at the AMA fields. There's a guy recently who was at the field, local field, and he had that new 20 channel. I mean, most of these RC airplane guys are not flying 20 channels, and drone guys are flying, 6 channels. You can add as many channels as you want on a TX16S. up to 32 or 64 channels, and the Spectrum's able to sell a radio with like, oh man, 20 channels for like $1,000. So this is open source. It runs on Edge TX or OpenTX. The greatest thing about open source is that we're not, locked down to proprietary firmware updates. This is driven by the community, updated by the community, improved and voted on for new features. It is a democratic process. So check this out. This is, actually, this is my number 2. I'm going to talk about that one after I talk about this other one here. Let me go back to that. Where is this guy at? It's the Eachine E200. So this is coming, the Black Hawk. Come on. I'm a huge military aviation fan, obviously, and the E200, yeah, this is going to be good. So you can get this bind and fly. You can get it ready to fly. Ready to fly, it's going to cost you around $429, but you could also fly it on your Spectrum radio or your TX16, but freaking awesome. I love scale helis, and this one has a ton of detail and 4-blade props. It just looks so cool. A friend of mine was a mechanic on Blackhawks, and he was small, so they would have him crawl up inside the helis and compartments and fix things. But look how cool that is. That is a cool little scale heli right there. Very, very, very nice one. And I wish they had sound on the video, because I'd love to let you hear what this thing sounds like with those 4 blades. Definitely. Oh, you have an XL Pro 700 Nitro? Let's go, dude. Tommy, I'm glad that you joined the channel, bro, because you seem like a real RC dude. I used to, wow, they're 3D in this thing. This guy's 3D in that. What is going on? Wow. Tommy, you don't see that very often when they're doing full 3D on a scale heli. A Blackhawk doing 3D. Inverted reverse hurricane. Pirouette. Pyro flip. Oh my God. Wow. This guy's going off. I won't be flying it like that on my review coming up. I have one, but I'm not going to be flying it like that because I don't want to slam dunk it. If you're a 3D pilot, by all means, go ahead and 3D your Black Hawk. But I'm gonna just enjoy looking at mine flying in the air and listening to it. I still get a really cheap thrill out of just seeing something fly, and it coming and landing back on the ground in one piece. That's what it's all about for me. That's the most simplest form. Just flying something and getting it back on the ground without breaking it. I'm starting out with my airplanes, and taking off with a balsa wood airplane and landing it. That's an awesome feeling. You don't, no amount of money can really give you that kind of feeling. Landing an RC aircraft, it's super fun. So that one's number 1 on my. I'm just gonna start number 1 with my RC helis. My second one is that Eachine E110 micro spy helicopter. Come on, this little dude is awesome. This looks like some kind of it looks like that military drone micro spy thing that they hold in their hand. It was like this big, and it costs like $5 million or something like that. I can't believe it took them this long to make a version of that. And best of all, it does have a little spy camera on there. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, people would have yelled at me for saying it's a spy drone, because there's so much drone paranoia. But we're past that. We don't care. Cameras are everywhere these days. You walk into the post office, there's cameras in the post office. You walk into the grocery store, there's cameras in the grocery store. Who cares if there's a camera on it? The camera looks choppy and terrible at best, and it seems to fly on the phone as well. If you want to use your phone as a controller, that's kind of ridiculous. It'll do, looks like it's going to do on-screen drawing waypoints, which I don't know why you would ever want to do that with this tiny little heli, but it looks like Ali Shimano has already reviewed his, but I'm getting mine's coming up. Mine's coming up. I try not to be the first guy out with a review, but let's see some flight footage there. And he flies right next to a river a lot of times. Yeah, that drone is awesome. Well, you can't really call it a drone. It's a little RC heli, portable RC heli. I love it. It doesn't look like it comes bind and fly. It looks like it's only available. Let me search that for you guys real quick. It looks like it's only available. Yeah, the RTF version, but we'll find out for you guys if it is bind and fly option. 720p optical flow, fly barless. That little tiny guy is fly barless. That's freaking awesome. Okay, come on. Body length 230 millimeters, 75 gram, under 250 grams. It better be. Fits in the palm of your hand. Military mini spy drone. Wannabe spy drone. Oh, there it is. That looks like a U.S. military dude in the background. 15-minute flight time with a range up to 120 meters. And it says in parentheses right here, miles. If this little RC helicopter toy drone heli thingy goes 120 miles, I would be super impressed. At speeds of 20 kph. I'm seriously doubting that, bang good. Flight modes, we have auto and manual, which this one may 3D too, if you're really good. It also has a 1-button automatic return, so it comes back if you, should come back to your general direction, but it's not going to come back and land. It also has a fail-safe setup into it, so it'll drop to the ground if it loses link. This is the battery. It looks proprietary, which I'm kind of disappointed about that it's going to be proprietary. But the lens is also rotatable for some reason. Optical flow, super nice. It'll stable hover when it gets close to the ground or close to a surface to land on. And check out the landing gear. There really is no landing gear. There's 2 little feet on the bottom and 1 little tiny spar in the back coming off the tail to pretty much protect your propeller there. And I'm sure you get an extra tail prop in the box as well. But it works with the app. I'd like to know, it's probably going to be able to work without the app. That's probably how I'd fly it. I'm really not interested in the FPV aspect of this, but if they came out with a carbon fiber version with some real FPV gear on this thing, that would be super cool, right? Make some CADX decased FPV HD camera on there. I would fly that. That'd be part of my hangar for sure. My next one on there is the OMP Hobby M2. The OMP Hobby M2 is still one of my all-time faves as far as helis go. And again, you can check out all these links down below. I have all of these listed here for you. $399 for this baby, but 5 stars and 157 reviews. People love this. Heli guys love this heli. And in a way, this is kind of like a DJI, or not DJI, T-Rex Mini killer. Because when this came out, everybody and their dog bought one. And they've been out about a year, but I would still buy one of these. And it's also another brand killer. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to put this user in timeout again. Hide this user on the channel. Nobody wants your nasty messages on my channel, bro. Don't come in my channel and start spamming us. You're going to get a smackdown. Man, I appreciate that, Tommy. Thanks for that comment. That was nice, dude. Thank you for that comment. Yeah, Kuroda, one of my first RC helis back in the early days of me, before I flew multi-rotors. I flew, I guess one of my first RC helis is probably a Walkera. And man, I trashed it. I did crash it down a set of stairs though, wooden stairs. So my next top RC heli pick is the Eachine E180. I don't know if you guys remember watching this review on my channel, but this thing is nice, and it spins up, and it has such a high head speed that normally the little helis don't really scare me that much, but this thing scares me. And it also cut my arm. Like, go back and watch that review. This thing grabbed me. I can't remember where it cut me, but it cut me. Those blades are sharp. $235 shipping in the USA from the USA warehouse. This is a great one. If you're somebody who's into mild 3D, or you want to learn a little bit of 3D, there's my review. Yeah. Great quad. Let's see. It has flight controller on board. It will do stability mode, and I bound it up with my TX16S. So yeah, that's my Max Edition TX16S. You can fly it with that controller, or you can fly it with I don't know if this one, I think that one comes RTF as well. RTF means ready to fly, for you guys that don't know. Let me know if that spammer comes back, guys. We'll give him the band hammer. Kuroda's asking how fast and how far will the heli fly. I mean, you know, you really couldn't. I mean, if you were FPV in this one, you could probably get out over 300 meters with the receiver that's on here. But it doesn't have GPS, so it would drop to the ground, and it's likely to break if you're way up there. But since it is so light, I mean, I have crashed these down into the grass. Like on a day like the day that I flew, it was snowing in this video, and it didn't break. So I did have some crashes with it. I cut myself with it, so you have to be super careful. It spooled up on accident in my hand and cut me really good. Cool, Tommy. We're going to have to make Tommy an admin up in here. Appreciate that. Let's see. This one, again, $235, 108 reviews at 4.9 stars. So this one has a high sentiment in the RC community, and people like this one. And the price has also gone lower in the last year since it's come out. So in my opinion, that would be much cheaper than going for something like the 150. That wasn't also a good one. It'd be cheaper than going for something like T-Rex. If you're going to buy a mini heli, start out with something like this. This thing was nice. Everything was metal on this. Let me show you this frame real quick before we move on to number 5. Number 5 was also a really popular video and a popular heli from eSky. But it's all metal, really nice aluminum, CNC'd, coaxial. It will also take S-Bus receivers, which I plugged in one for mine. That's why I was able to fly it on my TX16S Max Edition. But that little head block in there kind of reminds me of like SAB Goblin type of head blocks. Super nice, built right down into the frame. They don't have a really good shot of it. They should show a good shot of that head block because it's super, super nice. Carbon fiber body. Yeah, there it is. Built down into here. The servos, just the whole design is really simple, and it has this giant motor on there. It's freaking huge. And XT30. So you can use, it's not a proprietary battery, thank God, on this one. So you could use, I believe it was a little 3S battery. Let me just go back and check that spec real quick on that for you. Yeah, so you could use a little 3S, it says 700 milliamp. So I do like a 650, 3S 650, and 6 to 10 minute flight time. Not bad at all. Very nice. And yeah, no gears on that heli. It's just a main shaft, no gears. And you don't need gears when you have a brushless motor on the tail, so there's no torque tube in there, and there's no belt drive in the back. In the old days, we had, you know, on the small, even on some of the small helis, but not 150 size. Definitely not 180. You always have just the brushless motor in the back. But now we're moving on to my number 5 favorite, was the eSky 300 V2. This E300, and there was a 150 version of this too, but people really like this one. And if you want something quiet that the Karens have no idea about, you could get one of these and have a really fun time with this flying. And this is strictly solely for like line of sight flying. Yeah, I would say the helis handle wind as good as multi-rotors. They're about the same. They don't have any real body mass to them. They don't have a big wing to have to crab sideways into the wind and land like an airplane on a runway. You can vertical land with them. So really, wind, that's one of the reasons why I started flying RC helis out on Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, because where I grew up, we needed to fly really big RC aircraft. I mean, I flew, my first RC aircraft was an 8-foot wing glider. So that was my first ever plane when I was 10 years old. So you can see why I got so deep into RC. Here I am in my 40s, and I'm still entrenched in RC more than I ever have been. But that 8-foot wingspan was something that you needed to fly out there on the coast, because we had pretty high winds. We fly up to about 500 feet or so, and we just soar on thermals. Back in those days, there was no weight limit or any of that FAA stuff. And I grew up flying in federal parks and stuff, so park rangers would sit there and watch me out in the campgrounds when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. We fly gas airplanes, nitro. $191 for this one. It's on a flash sale right now. It has 4.6 stars and 62 reviews on that, so the sentiment on this one is pretty high as well. And we had a good time with this one on the Drone Camps channel. I was flying it on a day when there was a crowd there, and it was actually the RC Heli crowd in Vancouver, Washington. These guys were doing some 3D stuff, and dudes, those guys are real heli pilots. That's all they fly, and they thought this one was pretty cool. I tried to strap a little tiny FPV camera to it and take off, but this little eSky E300 V2, it does not want to fly a camera on there. It got up and just immediately crashed. You can't put any kind of weight on this one. I mean, if you had a little tiny AIO one, it would work for analog. But I was really hoping to get some FPV on this one, but it just couldn't handle it. But it's such a narrow profile on this particular heli. I love how sleek it looks. It looks like a little shark. I love that. I love this heli. Line of sight. That's what it's all about with helis. I mean, it really does bring me a lot of joy to see these things, hear them spool up, take off, and come up into a hover. And this one doesn't have optical flow or anything like that, but it does have stability mode. At this point, they might have put a manual mode into it, but I was not 3D'ing this heli. There's also a really cool scale heli coming out too, called the Ishin E120, and that's another kind of military looking one, similar to the Black Hawk, but also has 4 blades. But this is one I would pick up, and you can see all those links down below, the top 5 helis there. I'm going to take about a 30-second break here. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm back on the camera. So, let's see some comments in the chat. Let me know and let YouTube know what some of your favorites are from this list of the top 5 drones. Let's talk about drones for the next few minutes. And if you have another drone outside the list, you can add that as well. But give me one of your favorites that you've seen of the drone category. And let's go ahead and get rid of that spammer again. He keeps coming back. We're just going to keep banning him. So if you guys have, let's just bring up the chat box again. And your faves will show up right in this window this way. Because I would love to get your opinions. This will be recorded out to the internet, so let's see your favorites. If it's the Darwin FPV drones, the iFlight GEPRC, what's your favorite out of the top 5 for this year? Okay, William66 Allen says he likes the iFlight Chimera 7 analog version. I would have to agree with that. That's probably my favorite. My political favorite, I can't really say political, but one of my favorites is the DJI Mini 3. No political reason behind that whatsoever, really. I think the big difference between that one and the 7-inch is like it's just more accessible to more people, to be able to get people interested in our hobby and maybe move towards flying FPV. This is kind of like the gateway into our hobby, into FPV. Cool, appreciate that, Tommy. Thanks for the block on that spammer. The Crux 35, awesome. Air 2S. It is a good bang for its buck. I agree. Yeah, Darwin FPV drones, absolutely. Mini SE, I put a link down below for as well. I thought that was a great deal as far as DJI under 250 gram drone. And GEPRC Cinelog 35, says William. Absolutely. What's up with this? What's up with this spammer? Naked HD. What a great name. You have to be a total loser to message that person, or even putting that crap in my chat. We're gonna have to make sure we ban some of these keywords so they can't be dropping in these F-bombs in my family-friendly channel. That's absolutely unacceptable. And they can kind of sneak in there, you know. They can sneak in there when it's hard for me to monitor the chat. You know how it goes. We need good moderators in these channels. Jay Lav is asking, you're welcome, William. You're welcome, William Allen. Tiny Go 4K. That is a great start. The RTF version of that, freaking awesome. Yeah, anybody sees that spammer come back in there, just banhammer him real quick. So we got stuff to talk about here. Good stuff. The difference between the Chimera 7 and the Pro, I think it's the new flight controller and ESC combo. There he is again. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. They must. This person must have like 100 tabs open on a browser and just keeps dropping back in on the channel somehow. Appreciate that, Tommy. Thanks for the moderation. All right, so Tommy has some moderator status in the chat. Now we can banhammer this guy. So back to the question at hand was like, what's the difference? The flight controller on the new one is the Blitz. That's the newest probably tech coming back in from iFlight. It has a new motor system on there, and it's supposedly a little bit better. But the previous version has a little smaller motors, higher kV. But people are saying that people are saying that you get a little longer flight time on the older one. So. And going back up, somebody was asking another question. Let's get back to that one real quick. Thanks a lot, Kaiser. Appreciate that. Thanks for beating them down. We don't have any time for spammers. We have families and children. We don't need to see those naughty words on my channel. We don't have time for that. Leave that to the hanging out with the boys talk. Because kids could be watching the stream, right? I try not to say anything on the internet that I wouldn't say around my kids. Sometimes I get mad in traffic, though. And seeing a spammer kind of puts me in that mode, like mad at somebody in traffic. But my skin's pretty thick with spammers these days, though. You got to have thick skin if you're going to be a YouTuber. But yeah, man. Let me see if I can scroll back up through and find that Chimera 7. William said, analog version. Kaiser said, I have DJI Vistas and Air units, but HD0 I think will eventually merge as the favorite, even with the new Walk Snail. So I did a poll a while back for what you guys like more, what you'd be more likely to buy. Would you be more likely to buy HD0 or DJI FPV? And most people, about 70% of people said they'd buy DJI over HD0. So Fat Shark and Walk Snail have a ways to go to really kind of take dominance in the market, because DJI has about a 2-3 year lead now into our hobby. So you know what I mean? So they're pretty entrenched, and then their systems are good. And it works good long range. It works great short range. Penetration behind trees works pretty good. And to be honest, this is one of the reasons why I prefer DJI over Fat Shark, Walk Snail, HD0. Because of the pixelation on the screen, it shows kind of, HD0 shows kind of that old school static look. And I hate seeing those white pixels on the screen. I would rather see a soft blur. If there was a way to change that on HD0 to be like a soft blur, like just a soft blur, and then back to full resolution, I would. If it was cheaper than DJI, I might go for it. And the goggles are smaller. So right now, I think the big race is to make the smallest HD goggles. So the next version of the DJI goggles, I'm hoping, are smaller, because the ones we have now are freaking huge, and we look like total geeks out there, but we don't really care, because it's okay to be a geek these days, and it's okay to be a dad, to be a super dad. Rebecca gave me this on Father's Day, so I'm very proud of this cup. My sweetheart gave me this. She is awesome. Miss Drone Camps. Shout out to Rebecca and all you guys on the channel. Shout out to all you guys for hanging out in this live stream. We've had fun today. I don't even want to get off here. I could just keep this stream going all day. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, the colors are better. I think isn't HD0 running like 1080p, a true 1080p? Am I wrong, Kaiser? Because HD DJI FPV goggles are 720p. So I'll take 1080p over 720p. You don't have to convince me there. Like I would, um, it's kind of weird. My chat seems to have froze up on the app. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm trying to monitor this two ways, in my stream software and on my phone, so that we have a real time band hammer if we need it. Yes, 1080p is nice. One Vision Aerial, that's super nice. I love that. And you know, if the colors the colors should be better. I mean, the camera that they're making, and I'm assuming that Walk Snail is behind the camera. Um, for God's sakes, you don't want Emergent RC or Fast Shark making a camera, because we all know in FPV history they make some of the worst cameras out there. So I think they even kind of quit making cameras. Emergent RC, in association with Fat Shark back in the day, they did some binding flies, and some of those cameras, they were trash. They had terrible low light. I actually crashed a drone in the ocean because I flew off a cliff with one of their cameras, and I turned around, and below the cliff looked like as black as my shirt, and I couldn't even see where I was standing to come back and land. And then the video went out because they had it defaulted to 25 milliwatt, and that little, I think it was Vortex 150 in the ocean. First time I flew it. Total bummer. But I take chances on my reviews on the channel to get you guys the most scenic shots. And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, and sometimes I have to use a machete to get into briars to get it out or whatever. But that's part of the job, right? But Fat Shark was pretty mad at me for losing that drone. I shouldn't have took the chance, they said, but they never sent me another one. And then I think they just like stopped sending me gear. That's probably why you haven't even, I mean, all the way back in like 2014. Come on, Fat Shark, get over it and send me HD0 so my guys can see on the Drone Camps channel some HD0. Everybody and their dog at this point has reviewed it. Another reason to send it to the channel is because we will probably be getting some binding flies coming up this year, the next 360 days, 365 days. So there's going to be some binding flies coming out. And I hate to have to go out and buy a pair of those goggles. I'll just keep flying DJI if that's the case. Johnny D, I know how you can afford DJI. Sell off some of that gear in your hangar and move that money forward. That's what I used to do. I'd pick like, sometimes when I wanted something new, like back in the day, I wanted a Flame Wheel 550 big giant hexa rotor from DJI, one of their first original DJIs. I sold my beloved T-Rex 700 V2 HD or HV version back then, not HD. Right? That's a long grudge, Kaja. Come on, get over it. But they sent, you know, in the, it's not really their defense, but they sent it from a long way away. I think it came from, I think they shipped that little thing from like Australia or something. Like it came a long ways to get here. But back then we weren't flying 25 milliwatt. We were all flying 200, 600, and 800. And, you know, I think it was the first drone that I had an analog RX on it that was, or an analog VTX on it that was defaulted to 25. So I didn't know it was defaulted to 25, so when you fly more than a couple hundred feet away, a couple baseball fields away with 25, it can get really terrible. And then in combination with a terrible camera, that thing still lives in the surf somewhere. Unless it washed up and someone thought it was a red shell and they picked it up. But whenever these drones hit salt water, they are toast and they are corroded immediately. I don't even know how many drones I've crashed in the ocean over the years. I should go back and give you guys like an ocean crash reel. If I could find all my footage from the last 8 years. We're almost like going on like 10 years here on the channel, which is pretty cool. Coming up on a decade of Drone Camps RC. Talk about never giving up. Come on. Been wearing this shirt for a long time. It's just, you know, RC is one of those things. If you're into the RC hobby, you're into it for life, right? This is not like a I'm just doing it because it's popular thing. And drones definitely not popular as they used to be. Yeah, Kaiser, I've got some reward pints. I like to have a reward pint. Anybody wants a tip can give me a reward pint. How much is a pint these days? $6 PBR pint? Yeah, I'm gonna get a Mini 3. I'm gonna order one today. We're gonna fly it on the channel, and I'm gonna give you an honest Drone Camps opinion and sentiment and product analysis on the Mini 3. And I'm gonna fly it with my iPhone Mini. $15 flying quads. That's awesome, Johnny. I think one of those is the DJI Mini I sent you. Johnny won the DJI Mini giveaway. The FPV drone is still up for grabs. People keep messaging me and emailing me. When am I doing that giveaway? In the next 100,000 subscribers. It's a huge, huge, expensive $1,500 investment that I'm giving away. So I'm not going to give that away tomorrow. I want some subscribers, yo. I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine kind of incentive right there. So we want some more subs on the channel. Johnny D, we all have a problem, dude. Welcome to the madness of RC, where people have gotten divorced. People have gotten divorced over RC. My ex-wife actually told me and my friends that we were little boys. We're divorced. We're divorced. We divorced and she moved cross country. That's how that goes. So find you a lady who likes it, supports it. If you're really lucky, enjoys it. I mean, because the person I'm with now seems to enjoy it, and she seems to support me with it. And Jay, you might be right there. We might already have all the FPVers subscribed. That's probably even the hookers hate FPV, bro. They do. We all look like Rick Moranis on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something. I feel like the biggest dork. I definitely wouldn't wear FPV goggles to a nightclub. Can you imagine that? Walking into a nightclub with FPV goggles on your head? I mean, even if you're the best looking guy, well, I don't know. If you're the best looking guy, they might come up to you and be like, "What's that on your head? What's that up there?" Don't worry about it. It's my babe finder. Bro, Love. It's 18 drones. I got 99 drones, but ain't one. People ask me, like, how many drones do I have? I think I could cover a football field and how many drones I have. I don't know how many drones I have. I have no clue. But I can't fly them all, that's for sure. Yeah, I like the toothpick category. I wish that I'd like to see some more toothpicks come out. I was happy when the Darwin FPV drones came out. I got to figure out that background music, why that was so loud. I need to try that again with you guys since we're at about the end of the video. I have it right now on, and it's at negative 57 dB. Can you guys hear music in the background underneath my voice? I use you guys to help me grow the live stream. I want to make it better for you guys, and once I have that sound level set, I'll lock it in there. Performance mode. All right, now it's set to negative 46.7 dB. Is that gonna work? Guys, I think he got rid of the spammer. He stopped. He got tired of trying. Every time he dropped in, you guys banned him. Good job on the ban hammer. Boom, Tommy, you're an admin, bro. You got the wrench by your name now. Not much louder than that. Okay, cool. Let me try it on my phone and see if I can hear it. He stopped. He got tired of trying. Every time he dropped in, you guys banned him. Good job. All right, cool. Just barely in the background. Good. That's the way it should be. Just a little bit of up in the background. Something, rather than just silence. I'm one of those people I can't stand silence. I like to have something going. Like we're going somewhere. We're not just hovering in one spot. Are you wearing headphones? Yeah, maybe it's a little louder for you. So cool. All right, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna leave it right there for the future broadcasts. Man, I appreciate all you guys hanging out in the live chat today. I have to pick my kids up from school soon. Yakbet wants to know what my favorite drone of this year is. Yakbet, if you look back after the stream ends, go back and watch the information on the iFlight Chimera 7, also the DJI Mini 3. You can check out all the links down below that I've listed for the best of drones in 2022. Hot links down below. Use my coupon code. You can see that in the ticker down below. It's BG Davis 2021. That one's still active. You get 8% off on any purchase. Yeah, we need good vibes. We need good vibes in our live streams. We got so much to talk about in our live streams. Awesome. If you guys want to email me questions, email me at dronecamps@gmail.com. If you have questions about anything, email them and I'll try to bring them up in the live stream and answer them. Right? You want to get back to the community and help out our fellow FPV addicts with your builds, or if you have questions about a drone you want to buy, I have some insight on all of that. And again, you can trust this top 5 list because all these drones that are listed in the top 5 lists, I've listed because of the user sentiment based on the performance of each of these drones. The feedback from other people, the reviews, the 5-star reviews on each of them, availability of parts, price, everything is under $1,000. Most of it's under $500. So a lot of times what we try to post on the channel is stuff that's going to be affordable under the $500 price point. And then also giving you guys a budget option like Darwin FPV. And for helis, we're talking Eachine scale RC helis. The most expensive RC heli I listed was probably that Eachine E200 Blackhawk, but that thing's freaking awesome. And then the OMP Hobby is pretty pricey. And probably one of the best flying little ones is that eSky 300. Super quiet and fun. Super fun. Yeah, Tommy, you can email me dronecamps@gmail.com if you have questions, and I will try to answer that the best way I can. Hell yeah, all you guys have an amazing Memorial Day weekend, and let's stay in touch on the channel. Everybody come hang out on the next live stream. I'll try to do a live stream every Friday. We like to call this live stream Everything FPV, podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. It's all of us right here in the same chat window, and now we have new software to play with here. So I'm going to continue to bring awesome new widgets, on-screen widgets. It's cool. I've got this little stein up here. This is my beer mug. Whenever you give me a tip, it will add some coins to that little jar. I don't know if you noticed that. It's my little tip jar, but mine's actually a stein. It's a beer mug. So I appreciate all your tips. I would love to get up to that level where like Bardwell gets tips, but Bardwell does answer a lot of questions back and forth. So I definitely want to do the same thing on my channel and give back, and obviously make more tips. So yeah, I'm here to support you and answer any of the questions that you have. Dronecamps@gmail.com is my email address for questions only, not spammers. We are going on a trip this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. You guys going anywhere? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a trip, probably a family trip. Take the kids out and do some van life. I have a Sprinter that we all go out in. Got a nice queen size bed in there, and we'll probably do some camping and some drone flying. I wish I had that Mini 3 this weekend. I should have ordered that like 2 weeks ago and just been in on the pre-order. I just waited though. I figured it would be in Best Buy by now, but it's not. They keep telling me to pre-order it on their website. Johnny, I don't blame you staying home, man. It's gonna be crazy. Gas prices are over $5 a gallon where I'm at, so hopefully it's cheaper where you're at. It's crazy here. William asks, is it worth putting the RunCam thumb on a TinyGo 4K? I would say no. It's not going to look any better than that onboard footage, bro. I have a thumb that I'm testing for you guys on various different drones. So we'll post our RunCam thumb review next week. And again, I'm not one of those reviewers that I get it and I review it the same day, because everybody wants to be first. So they all fight to be first. We don't do that on my channel. I kind of have stuff for a week or two before I review it, so I can give you some kind of opinion on using it on different aircraft, and not rushing everything. You can't have an opinion on something you just got yesterday and you flew it at 10 a.m. and then by noon you have a review. Come on, am I wrong? I mean, all that is people just trying to regurgitate specs off a website and show some quick footage and then have some kind of opinion on it. You have to use stuff for a week or two before you can really have a solid opinion on something, because stuff comes up, issues come up, durability. you know, firmware crashes, all kinds of stuff comes up in a week's time on new products. So rushing to be the first one is not good for credibility.
Artlist.io.
It is tour, Tommy. True that.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, no one. I mean, you gotta test stuff. That's right, Tommy. You gotta test stuff. Like, you can't just throw stuff up there just because you want to get people to click on it and buy it. Now, also coming up, before I let you go, we've got a new one from Avant. And I recently went on a vacation to visit some family for a wedding. And I also went on another, it was like a split trip, family reunion with Rebecca. And then we had a wedding in my family, which is super awesome. But this review is a little bit behind right now. So I've got a Avant FPV, super badass little drone here coming up. It should be a little beast. This is an analog setup here. They make some super high quality little binding flies. Like probably the next best like Catalyst machine works. Really nice. And check that out. See those motors? Brother hobby. Come on. Little tiny 20 by 20 VTX on there. Super nice little. It's like a little bit of a stretched X, not quite a true X. See that? So almost a little bit of long body, a little bit of stretch from front to back. But I'm looking forward to that. That one's going to be a fast one, super fast. Other upgrades I've done on the channel recently are my Hero 10. This was a $500 purchase so that we could get some nice cinema footage for you guys with Hypersmooth 4.0. So I'm constantly trying to make it a little nicer for you. And this camera so far is not disappointing me. It's a really nice camera. Super nice. I fear when I send this one out there. Even on the 7-inch, when I put this on the front of the 7-inch, I sent this one out over top of the marsh, and we did that shoot out in Cape Hatteras off my family's property. There's a huge marsh behind the house, and it's it is like no man's land out there for retrieval. I mean, I could probably find the drone. The GoPro would be all right if I found it, but there's high, tall marsh grass everywhere, and in that grass is water moccasins, aka cottonmouth. And so when you go walking around in that marsh, you better have your eyes open. Watch your step, because they can bite through a fishing boot. That's where I grew up. Many things that can kill you. Sharks, snakes, many things that are just a pain in your ass, like ticks and mosquitoes. Everything seemed to want to bite you where I grew up. That makes you tough, right? So when I came out to the West Coast, out here, it's like, they do have mountain lions, though. We don't have those back east, thank God. We have bobcats, but who cares about a bobcat?
Artlist.io.
I'll beat a bobcat down. Mountain lion? I'm not going to fight him. I wouldn't want to fight a bobcat either, honestly. Yeah, like Tennessee. Lots of things in Tennessee that'll kill you. Black bears. I didn't realize how big black bears were until I saw one come out on the RC airfield. A friend of mine was on the grass cutter, and he was cutting the grass on the field, and a 450-pound black bear walked out of the edge of the field, and he couldn't make that grass cutter go fast enough to get it back to the shed and hide in the shed until the bear walked off. There's a city dump next to our old airfield, so tons of bears hanging out in the dump, and occasionally they walk over to the RC airfield. You better not have your Tito's out. They're coming to get it, or a ham sandwich. But today's been fun. I wanted to do a live format version of this video for a while because I wanted to show you the website. I want to talk about the specs. Wanted to jump into some of the videos for you, show you some just raw footage, and so that you guys have a good idea of what each drone's video looks like, and also give you some sentiment as far as the community is concerned. When we talk about sentiment, and that just means how people feel about it in the big picture, and then the analysis of the drone or the helicopter. So two big things, two takeaways on the channel are sentiment and the analysis of what the product is. So that's what you guys should be getting out of the channel: the sentiment behind something, also the durability, the tune, and all that good stuff. We go pretty deep on most of the reviews, so I try to keep most of the videos 10 minutes or under as well, so they're not super long. Back in the old days, we used to do 30, 35, 45-minute videos and go deep into the tech, but nobody has that much time to sit around. Podcast, something like this is kind of nice just because you can leave it on and just kind of like while you're driving. This is kind of I'm like the Joe Rogan of RC. You just keep it going. But it has definitely been fun. It's fun with this new format as well. We've got the ticker, we've got the tip jar, we've got the beer stein, the beer money up there. We can switch screens. We can play various videos now for different products. We can bring up my social media as well. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Drone Camps is everywhere. And we also do YouTube Shorts. So we're going to go ahead and if you have any last questions, we're going to end up the stream here. It's just about 1 o'clock West Coast time. So 4 minutes. Let's give it 3 more minutes, and let's get 3 more minutes worth of questions. And then we'll go ahead and end the stream, and it will be archived on the channel, so you guys can go back and rewind or watch it again and get some opinions and have some laughs at some of my mistakes in this video. So nothing's ever perfect on my channel, but we're learning and we're growing all the time. I try to keep it a little bit formal, informal. You know what I mean? So yeah, a couple more minutes for those final questions, and I'm going to go pick the kids up. I have something fun planned for them today. We're going to go do something fun. But again, I appreciate all you guys as well, like clicking on my links and buying something through my links. It really helps keep me and my family going, keeps the bills paid, the rent paid, and keeps the channel online. And it keeps me buying new drones to review, like the Mini 3. Absolutely. You're welcome, William. This is like the best part of my day. Being able to live stream is more fun than like editing a review. Do we need help with anything like that? Oh, what do we need help? Man, I appreciate your moderator help, Tommy. That's what I need help on for sure. Luis, also, I don't see Luis in the chat today, but Luis is usually on the live stream chats, and he's a good moderator as well. He usually will drop the ban hammer if we have any spammers coming in.
Music licensing reimagined.
Also, guys, we can also do some, I have a special format live stream coming up. We're going to do some beta flight, some binding up. We're going to hop right into beta flight on a future live stream, and we're going to do some setup and show you guys how to do it from scratch. We're going to start as if you just bought a radio, you didn't do any programming to it, and you needed to bind up a receiver. We'll walk you through that, and we're also going to do some beta flight as well. So if you're seeing this live stream for the first time and you're not subscribed to the channel, you want to learn FPV, definitely jump into the Drone Camps channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell for when new videos come out, and as always, please do click the like button. Appreciate that. Heck yeah, I appreciate all you guys. So 1 o'clock now, West Coast time, and Justin Davis is about to sign off for now, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Check out those links down there. Pass it on to a buddy if they're getting into FPV or RC helis or RC cars or whatever. This is an awesome, unbiased channel. And yeah, I'm honest about wanting to make $1. I'm unbiased, but I also need to make a living, right? But I'm going to only bring you guys like the best gear. The stuff that's trash, I don't have time for it. I don't bring it on the channel. If it's trash, I don't even review it because it's going to waste your time and mine, right? Not everything's the best, but I will tell you which ones are the best. And we'll review the good stuff to the awesome stuff. And that's what I try to keep on the channel so that we don't waste everybody's time. People ask me all the time, you never review anything that's crappy. I'm like, would you watch something that was crappy? Would you enjoy that? We all, I don't know, man. Where I come from, we want to see awesome stuff, and that's what we're gonna keep bringing you guys. But I appreciate you, hands down. Appreciate everybody on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Big hearts from my family to yours. You guys are freaking awesome, and you keep me going. So I really appreciate that. And if you want to really support me locally, grab one of my shirts, dudes. These shirts are awesome. You can find them in my merch links. And I don't know if I have hats right now, but the hats are super nice, flex fit. I love these hats. But I appreciate you, Tommy, No One FPV, William, Kaiser, all the guys that were in the live stream today and helping me out. Spammers, Jesse, appreciate you, bro. And I'm Justin Davis, guys. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Happy Memorial Day, guys. Later.